good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you are poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. A few years ago, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, I started to get an uptick in what I would call Black mystics. These are African Americans who were into things like astrology and other forms of, New Age um, philosophy or spirituality and things of that sort. I mean, as opposed to people who are just straight ahead Orisha people, right? So for a long time, the majority of people were really people who are steeped in Orisha tradition. But relatively recently, I started coming in contact with, another strand of Black spiritualists, mystics, that I would term it that way. In the process, I started to have different conversations with people around witchcraft. And so it piqued my interest, and I wanted to start getting a better idea of what the mainstream conversation is around witchcraft. And so I did a little research, and I bought a few books. And one of my favorite finds was this little practical witches spell deck. And I like the format, to be honest with you. I like the layout. This has got a little, it's got a little booklet in here. And there's a companion book, but it's got spells in here, and then it has cards, right? It's got these cards, and it's very nicely done. Really high quality production, right? But it is a good example of how people are relating to witchcraft, right? It's candles, it's meditation, it's creating an altar, it's doing different kinds of things with the phases of the moon. People, it may go as far as drawing sigils on the ground, or doing sigils in one way or another, and setting intentions and clarifying your intuition and things along that line. And for the most part, none of it has anything to do with witchcraft from a Yoruba perspective. Like none of it. It's almost none of those things that are listed here, and then some of the other things that I've found. Very, 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 very minimal overlap in intention or function. Totally different system and practice and orientation, right? And so I wonder, then people will take the idea and their feelings that they have around this Western understanding of witchcraft, and they then project those onto the Yoruba approach to witchcraft. And some of the things that I've noticed, for example, is practically speaking, there's no overlap. But even conceptually, I wonder where people get their ideas about witchcraft when it comes to the Yoruba practice. For example, can you think of a story, even if you don't know the Odu, can you think of a story about the relationship between Awon Iyami and Ori? Or a story about Awon Iyami and Eshu? Can you think of a story of Awon Iyami and an ordinary person, a farmer, a salesperson, a vendor in the marketplace, the king? Is there anything that you can refer back to, that you can recall what the dynamic between Awon Iyami and other members of the civilization are? Because those stories inform our understanding of who an entity is in the pantheon or in the spiritual spectrum. It's the stories, it's the verses of Ifa or the verses of Erendin that tell us the nature and the attributes and the characteristics of each entity, and they define for us how we should engage with that entity, what the rules of engagement and the protocols are between us and one deity or another, or one entity and another. We know what to give Eshu and what to not give Eshu based on the verses. We know how to speak to and how to address Ogun based on what the verses tell us. So I wonder, what have the verses told you about Awon, Iyami, Osoronga? And I ask this because of this most recent project of mine, Shadow Mothers. I'm really excited about the light that it's going to bring onto the subject. I've got verses of Ifa that talk about the relationship between Awon, Iyami and Ori, Awon, Iyami and Obatala, Awon, Iyami and Oshun, Awon, Iyami and Oromila, Awon, Iyami and Gelede, Awon, Iyami and the King, Awon, Iyami and the Ogboni Society, on and on and on. I've got verses of Ifa that tell us definitively, step by step and play by play, what happened and what was the outcome of this particular engagement between Awon, Iyami and another entity. And I know that once you have consumed the information from that perspective, it will have a great impact on informing your understanding of who Awon, Iyami is in the Yoruba context, and what are the best ways in which to engage with Awon, Iyami and optimize your relationship to that particular entity. And so the book Shadow Mothers is going to drop pretty soon. So I want, if you're interested in getting it before it comes out with the general public, then I want you to follow the link in the comment section. And if you want to even, get a preview of some of the things that are going to be treated in the book, likewise, follow the link in the description section, and you'll get a free ebook, and then I'll send you an email to give you maybe a coupon, a discount on the book, and an advance pre-order opportunity, so that you can start to digest the information before it hits the mainstream. Either way, I hope to further the conversation on Awon, Iyami, or Osoronga, with the intent to deepen our practice and clarify our participation in the tradition according to the realities of the tradition as it has been for thousands of years, since time immemorial. So I look forward to your comments and your feedback, and I wish you well until then. Bye for now. Odabo.